Oh, here we are again now, and it's like no time has passed. Gazing out upon the sunset as it sinks into the night. Many times it seemed as though a given day might be our last. Face to face with certain death, it's somehow coming out alright. I don't think that we have any cause to lament, but there's quite a lot of thrilling intent, thrilling intent, thrilling intent, thrilling intent.
Markus, your ears pick it up first, and you quickly turn, and you see a creature beginning to pull itself free from the wall, its mouth opening slightly to give it digits to yank the faces forwards. It emerges immediately next to you, and you have a split second to react to this. What do you do?
Is its mouth open?
Its mouth is open just a little bit. You get the feeling it's gonna spring open for a sec and try to grab you.
Taken entirely by surprise, Markus almost yells, but instead reaches out, places his finger just past the lips of this creature crawling its way towards him, and fires an utter dark blast directly into its mouth.
The mouth lurches open, receiving the full fury of your eldritch blast. However, in the process, the little man inside grabs you by the face and starts to command grab, drag you off in this direction.
I'm gonna reach out and grappling hook arm grab Markus.
Okay, Harlock, you see Markus start to get dragged away and yanked towards this wall, and as he goes, you aim your arm directly at him, kerchunk, and fire, connecting with Markus and sending him flying backwards and pinning him to the tunnel wall, free of the creature's grasp. It's at this exact moment that one engages with Mercy and one flies over and latches onto you.
This is fine.
Mercy.
Yeah, all right.
This one going in this direction.
So, as the one is going for Harlock, she doesn't see the one behind her quite yet. She is able to quickly summon her wedge axe and catch it on the joint of the jaw. And drags it through, not fully killing it, but getting a hell of a chunk out of the side of its mouth, more or less dislocating the jaw. However, the one behind her is going to get a cheap shot.
Kerchunk! It lands sliding to the side, almost like rolling across the ground like an oversized baseball. Another historic sport of Tannhauser, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Baseball.
Baseball.
So, at this point, the one immediately behind Mercy opens its jaw wide. And, Gregor, it's now your go.
Gregor sees this thing coming up behind Mercy and takes the stance of the charging Minotaur and dashes forward, throwing his full body weight behind his glaive as he just crashes into this thing. He doesn't get a good hit in, but he tumbles over it and at least gets it away from Mercy.
The dust clears for a moment, and you see Mercy and Harlock, a fireball whiz over the pair of you, hit this creature, and it explodes in a hail of, I don't want to say fist. I'm like blood,
Meaty
teeth,
bits.
organs. Yep.
Meaty bits.
In a hail of meaty bits. The flame quickly gutters out, leaving sections of the sand now crystallized on the ground around. Then immediately between the two of you, there is a rush of wind as a large figure sprints past, jumps, and slams a great blade down upon this creature in front of you. It hits the ground, gnashes, its mouth extending wide, and it gets a good bite of the creature as Kier repeatedly drives his sword down into the beast.
Oh, I forgot you guys did stuff.
Ouch.
Significant Tungsten is going to make a decision now of what the fuck he's gonna do. Does the donkey get...
Actually,
Yeah?
Harlock will call to Tungsten,
Yeah?
and getting a sense that the hive mind knows that we're here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
We better just speed run this dungeon.
Jesus Christ, okay.
Pull the string, Tungsten.
Oh my god, okay. Christ,
Can Inian move up a little closer just in case?
Oh, right on.
The tungsten thing will happen last. The creatures are going to do something each too.
Fair.
And then that part of this bullshit will happen. Harlock, you turn around and you give Tungsten the signal, but in doing so, you put your back to the creature in front of you, and as you do, it pitches forward, charges, and leaps almost like a shark, driving its teeth into your shoulder, Mercy, and biting down hard. That is a wound.
All right.
Gregor, tell me how you break free.
This is not the first time Gregor has crashed into a monster, so he's able to just simply jump backwards and get a little distance before it can either bite him or grab him with its horrible little hands.
You manage to separate yourself, swaying on your feet. It sort of pitches to the left and the right, rebuilding its balance in the air, preparing for another bite. One that it doesn't exactly have the chance to take, because at this exact moment, Tungsten lets out a defiant whinny. Do donkeys whinny? I'm unsure. He lets out a noise, like a cannon shot, as he charges forward, Inian bringing up the rear. As he goes, the cord pulls tight, and Inian, throwing her body weight behind it, sort of like almost... She drops her full body weight on top of the cord, causing it to sort of angle to the side, and you hear a loud snapping sound, almost like a gigantic twig breaking, as the cavern behind begins tumbling down. For a moment, there's too much shaking to make out exactly what's going on, but you hear the loud sounds of what appears to be the tower creaking. It almost sounds like a great tree more than anything else. You look up at the roof above you as individual rivulets of glass begin to snap and break. Markus and Gregor, you're obviously too caught up in what is... you functionally being at the epicenter of an earthquake. The entire world shakes. Markus, you're trying to pull yourself free from a wall, and dramatically you drop to the ground as you are functionally yanked free by the tower's convulsions. However, Mercy and Harlock, you're able to remain steady even as the world collapses around you. However, your enemies can't say the same. They need to hang in the air, and it seems like vibrations, the very vibrations, this tower's become a tuning fork, and their entire bodies they can't maintain their balance. The entire world continues to shake, your vision swimming. But, for some of you, you manage to maintain your composure and take advantage of this chance to drive the offensive back against your enemies. So...
Oh dear.
The terrain has changed somewhat. Regardless, please go ahead with your narration.
Yeah. So, Mercy still has this fellow latched onto her shoulder, but she remembers all that he's done is put himself in a terrible position because now her arm is in with the squishy bits. So she reaches in and grabs between the eyes and just tightens as much as possible, and then, like a dog with a chew toy, just starts smashing it around on the inside of the mouth. You can just hear this hollow. And finally, after a while, she gets her other arm under the jaw and just, breaks the jaw open and pulls outward as much of the meat as she can with it and throws the body across the way, and then looks to Harlock because she can tell she has a plan.
Yeah, if as soon as this one that Mercy is fighting goes over Harlock's head, she's just going to kind of quickly reach onto her side and throw up a flask into the mouth of the cherub as it hits the wall, so it impacts like a bomb.
Oh, excellent!
Wow.
Oh boy, you do so? And yeah, they splatter against the wall and both detonate like a water balloon full of multicolored comedy alchemical goo.
Good thing I brought my silly goo.
It is exceptionally silly, you think, as the earthquake continues to move you all about. You all hold yourselves steady as the tower shakes less and less. You exhale slowly as it almost seems like it's stopped. It's all come to a halt.
Mercy kind of rolls her shoulder a couple times. Oh, God, that was unpleasant. Got a pretty good shot on me. Oh, but thank you, Gregor. Oh boy.
Yeah. Markus?
Oh, gods, where is he?
If only I had dark vision.
You start to look around for Markus. Markus! While the tower fell, you were pressed against one of the walls.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You felt your body tumbling far, far away. It's almost like it would be... You expect the abject horror of being buried alive. It's something that you've explored in your books. Very distasteful, honestly. But, Nothing like that, honestly. As you sort of like blend and fall backwards into the walls, you discover it actually gets less solid. The space between every single particle almost seems to grow greater, and you're weird. It's strange that your body can even conceive of this in the first place, but your senses tell you that as naturally as your nose tells you something stinks. As you fall backwards deeper into the sand, you find yourself almost falling.
I screw my eyes shut. Please end up in the gift shop. Please end up in the gift shop.
You pinch your eyes shut, and then you almost do smell something. You smell birds.
Huh. Smells
Yeah,
like
you smell birds. And it's weird. You smell birds. You taste grass. You feel. Oh boy, you feel music. Yeah, there's a jaunty tune playing on the wind.
Yeah, I feel it in my bones.
You feel it in your bones.
What?
Feel a lot in your bones right now, actually. As you adjust to the tower, you look and it's strange. It almost feels like, you're sort of, you are this place. And this place is you. Yeah, smells like moss. You are the moss. You are being licked. Strange.
I am the moss.
Really, you are moss. Your eyes perk up. You almost harden your magic around you instinctively into a protective cocoon before too much of you bleeds out into this place. You feel the sensations dancing around your skin. The area around you feels almost like an undigested section of the world. Part of the tower that has yet to fully become the tower. You're on a little fragment, a speck of a thing, and currently it feels like you are one with this small little wooded area. And your eyes adjust. Not to the darkness, but instead to this place's memory of itself. What a funny thing. And despite the fact that you only saw this place in passing when visiting the palace, you recognize it. It's a section of the gardens. Little bit of the palace gardens that has been mashed up and consumed by the tower. And it continues to exist here, bit by bit being converted into that powdery sand. You get one more small detail. Because you are the one who interacted with this directly. You and Mercy would have gotten this. Looking around the outside, you see a similar roiling, almost... I would call it caustic, but caustic implies it would burn you. No, this instead is more basic. It feels like interacting with that substance would, and you blink, your mind catching up. You've felt this before in Castle Crowhenge. In fact, you subjected yourself to this sort of chaotic madness once before, when you flung yourself through the portal and wound up on the other side. You recognize the chaotic energies of the heavens bearing down on all sides of this place.
Well, I don't like that one bit. Can I try and do something while I'm here? Or is it taking everything I've got to just kind of like keep myself together?
No, you rolled very high. Act away.
Okay, so looking around at this section of the castle gardens, I try and focus on some of the other things that I have seen here. When I was still living in Tannhauser.
Yeah.
Trying to kind of assert my memories of the gardens, specifically when they were kind of like festooned with streamers and like tents and festivities for one of the many festivals that the palace tended to dress itself up for.
Oh, fucking fascinating. Okay, razzle and dazzle me.
It's a 5 and a 3, so
5 and a 3,
8,
that'll push you
12.
over for
That's
the
a
full
12
success.
Total.
Okay.
Well, it's a 12 with my addition.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm thinking like colorful tent, balloon table, streamers, flags, balloons, balloon table, clowns,
No, maybe
and then Marcus.
maybe put the clowns back.
No. Marcus has an idea. Then he's gonna have some fun with it. Thog is a clown. Thog is a clown. Thog is a clown. Thog is a clown. Thog is a clown.
You desperately try to manifest Thog as a clown. You do absolutely everything you can to manifest Thog as a clown. Marcus, you feel like right now, as tent after tent begins to pop up around you, actually, a success of your little hypothesis, you quickly and almost unimpressed divert to a new point of view. Manifesting these tents is easy, because this garden remembers. This garden remembers exactly the shape that it took during those festivals. However, if you wish to manifest Thog as a clown, you'll need to provide that energy yourself. Doing so will likely grievously wound your psyche. Do you do it anyway?
I really want to.
I hand you the hardest choice of your entire life.
Unfortunately, I think I need to play it safe. I think of a lot of balloons instead, and maybe I also think of a marker and try and draw some Thog faces on some of them.
Marcus, you physically hold yourself back with every fiber of your being, trying to stop yourself from imagining Thog as a clown. The demands on your psyche are too great. The cost is too much. A single tear rolls down your face, but you know you're being responsible right now. Thog would appreciate that more than wearing that funny wig.
I think.
You think. You pause for a second. Would he? He does look mighty good in that wig.
Yeah, and if he had a smile painted on, he could still keep scowling, but always be smiling. No, shake those thoughts off, Marcus.
Down that path leads dread temptation, you realize?
Also madness.
Truly, this tower is the greatest foe you've faced yet.
I think I'm gonna try and start, keep thinking about, the party plaza of the forest gardens while trying to see what happens when I walk a little further into the gardens.
Okay.
If the finger quotes walls don't yield, I'm not gonna keep going, but I want to try and push this a little bit. 9 for a 13 total.
9 for a 13. Okay. So, you realize something as you start to press your way out. This chaotic effect. You've seen it in the past. You've interacted with it in Castle Crowhenge. And when chaos was made manifest, it always took on a very similar shape, which is classically unchaotic. But when you went to the heavens themselves, you recognized chaos by its entirely different and more fundamental shape, everything touching everything at once. And then you start to realize, as you press yourself into this almost film around the outside, what you're seeing right now is more of a gradient rather than chaos itself. Looking back at this, at the garden that you've created, that is reality. Cocooned on all sides by chaos fading in and outwards. Simply put, the concept of chaos is not something that can be represented visually or even begin to be comprehended. So instead you perceive its colors. If it is an absolute void, this is where it fades into a conceivable state. Pushing your way out of here is doable because you yourself don't exist on that same gradient. You can simply pass through. After all, this place isn't exactly... The chaos isn't being directed towards you. It's not meant to digest you. So, you press your way through. Do you keep going?
I keep going, and as I go, I focus as hard as I can on what the gardens look like in the direction that I am going. If I were walking through the gardens in this direction, I'm imagining the precise path and the scenery that I see while I'm doing it.
You stand and you put form to the gardens with your thoughts. You order them as carefully as you can put them together. You have a writer's mind, so you arrange things in the form of a narration. Something that's a little more reasonable and digestible for this place. Ordered, sensical, it all clicks. Your magic reinforces you. It builds the bubble, and the you inside stays safe from whatever corrupting influence this place has. You take your first step. You start to remember the past. Moving through this garden, the loud sounds of different musicians playing, a sense of delight building in the chest. You take another step. You remember the more vague aspects of it. Expectation placed on you. You start to remember exactly what the shape this palace took was. It was a monument to Tannhauser. Everything that was luminous yet wrong with Tannhauser. You take another step. As you travel even further from that center point, reality begins to blur more and more. The order of your mind no longer presents simply as a page. Instead, you begin to write music. You as a musician are quite talented, in fact. You've written a wide variety of different ballads. You take another step. This is no longer about you. You're thinking about the various places that you've gone and the vague shape of Markus Valafi. You push magic to the outsides of your body, trying to keep the outline firm, yet the interior is now broken. You step off the page. Everything snaps.
With every step I take, I tell the garden to remember itself. And with every handful of steps, I drop a plucked strand of my own hair on the ground.
And as you pull yourself free of that cocoon, you find yourself in the place where other discarded things gather. You're pressed into this narrow space, but it is somewhere. That's great. You're somewhere. Markus, you're somewhere. That's more than you've been in the last few minutes, and that's great.
What the fuck? What is this over here? Is that a sarcophagus and a...
Yeah, it's a big-ass sarcophagus.
Lamp?
That is a bell.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna pick that bell up.
Markus, this is one of the many sarcophagi that was prepared for the future of the royal family, basically.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I try and push it open.
You push the sarcophagus open. Unfortunately, it is completely empty, though it is grandiose. It looks actually very comfortable.
Unfortunately, you are Markus and are not strong enough to lift this.
Yeah, I thought so too. I pick the bell up, and I take out, like, a handkerchief, and I tie it around the clapper inside so it doesn't make too much sound.
Yep. Okay, you receive the royal bell.
What's this shit on the ground? Soot?
You poke around at some of the shit on the ground. It's like, It's hard to tell, honestly, at this point. It looks to be just... It smells acrid.
Mm-hmm.
It's... Whatever it is, it's pretty disgusting.
Yeah, I think that's all I need to know. Let's ignore it. So I could take a nap in the sarcophagus, but I think what I am going to do is press on ahead and try and reconnect with my friends.
You press on ahead, and as you do, your eyes... your eyes... Well, they should have adjusted. Your eyes have been adjusted. After all, you've got great dark vision. And as they do, you start to, like, look around at this little tunnel you're in. And, you start to make out more and more shapes, and your mind starts to, with dawning horror, put together exactly what this is, what the tower is doing, and what's being made here.
No.
On all sides, in various unfinished shapes like confectionery rabbits, a collection of angels sits.